As the big countdown, let the action recommence in the second half. As things stand, a point would be enough to keep Getafe in top-flight Spanish football for a further season, and Barcelona will be secure in second place. No changes at half-time. Both coaches content. Barcelona, if you're just joining us, without 9 players today. Getafe missing only really Mitrovic. Jaime Mata is another player who's unavailable, but he's been out for several weeks. In some ways, this is a trial for a number of the Barcelona players, the likes of Mingueza and Ricky Puig, Balde, the youngster who has been given an opportunity this season. He had an injury in the winter, so we haven't seen him since December. Otherwise, I suspect he may have been challenging Jordi Alba for the left-back position.
Every player behind the ball for Getafe. Talked about it in the first half. It's a back 5 with 4 midfield players and a centre forward who's not particularly quick, doesn't want to run in behind. Unal will be the player that comes off the right-hand side to join Unal as much as possible.
Healthy attendance, just over 13,000 inside the Coliseum today. Barcelona always a draw. This is Aubameyang toe-to-toe with Getafe, and a nonchalant little chip from Ferran Torres, who has lost his touch in front of goal. He had a great start to his Barcelona career, but hasn't beaten a goalkeeper in his last 8 appearances.
Once again, good defending from Getafe. Kuslu tried to play offside and hold a high line. Getafe realised that Aubameyang had made a good run, and he didn't quite get the chip right, did he, Ferran Torres?
This is Mingueza. Long leg. Balde.
Well, they tried to suck Getafe in, played 1 or 2 first-time passes, and then tried to get it in behind for Memphis Depay. The pass from Busquets, not good enough. There's a player that can change the game, Ansu Fati.
Barcelona have been very keen not to overplay him, to rushing back too quickly. There must be a temptation for Xavi Hernandez. But getting him in the team next season will be like making a complete new signing. 19 years of age, the club's youngest ever scorer, but had a meniscus operation which didn't fully take in November 2020. He's only started 4 games this season.
Well, you'd imagine that Xavi would want Ansu Fati to do for Barcelona what Vinicius Jr. has done for Real Madrid this season. Completely changed the way the fans look at him. He's been an inspiration for Real Madrid. He's been brilliant. Ansu Fati can do all of that for Barcelona next year if he's fit enough.
Well, that is the upside of having to use, I think it's 8 teenagers so far this season, Barca. They've drafted a couple in today because a number of the fringe players were asked to play for the Barcelona B team, who had quite a crucial game in Group B of the Segunda. They were playing against Sevilla's B team and actually lost by 2-1, so Sergi's side have finished a disappointing 11th place. Barca ladies have done brilliantly. They have won 30 games out of 30 this season.
Great support they've been getting as well.
Yeah, Unal was playing for that, wasn't he? Tantalising the Barcelona defenders.
Yeah, he tries to go in between Dani Alves. They just get square with each other. Gavi is not a good challenge. Not quite sure what he was trying to do there. Aubameyang misjudged the flight of the ball, trying to maybe flick it on for Memphis Depay was nowhere near it.
Getafe need the insurance of a goal to ensure they stay in the top flight. The team who can catch them, Mallorca, are leading at home against Rayo Vallecano in the Balearic Islands. Bordet to Busquets. Mingueza. Memphis Depay.
A good game, the left back, isn't he? Oliveira started the game well, counter-attacking with pace. And now he's defending well. He's quick. Took up a good position to block that big diagonal. Then beats Gavi.
I've got an admission to make. You know, I said he was 33 in the first half. I was only 10 years out.
I was going to say, he didn't look 33.
Good defending by Busquets, who dropped into the number 5 position.
And that's the first time we've seen Mayoral play through the middle. Here he comes, drifting back to his right-sided position.
Bordet to Puig. Busquets. Barcelona really do need to engage Aubameyang and Depay. Been starved of any opportunities.
They need to switch the play much quicker.
Bordet. Now Puig. Mingueza. Alves strokes the ball to fellow fullback Bordet. Depay winds himself up. I think he was caught in two minds there whether to cross the ball or shoot, and it became neither.
But that was better from Barcelona. It was the big switch of play. They created a 2v1 down this near side. And eventually, as you can see, Depay I think he was trying to bend it into the box for Aubameyang, and maybe Ferran Torres coming round the back. Just got too much on it.
Well, Levante have equalised against Alaves. They may be doomed to second the football next season, but they're giving Levante giving Alaves a bit of a scare there. Alaves, of course, is second from bottom of the table, desperate for a victory.
Well, we did Levante, didn't we, in midweek, where they were really poor. Here's where he gets a whack. Oliveira, probably from Gavi.
It's going to be gripping going into the final weekend of the season if it stays like this. Cadiz, Mallorca, Granada, just 1 point between the three of them. At the moment, Getafe out of that equation.
Well, as you mentioned, Alaves have to win that game, otherwise they are down. As it stands.
There will be twists and turns this afternoon, and I'm sure on the final weekend of the 2021-22 La Liga season. I hope you've enjoyed every single game here on ESPN Plus this season. The way that Barcelona have progressed, it's going to be much tighter next year. Xavi maybe allowed a bit of freedom in the transfer market. Talk this weekend of Robert Lewandowski being keen to move to Catalonia after his illustrious spell in Munich with Bayern.
And as we keep saying, We've said for many years now, one or two of those Real Madrid players are another year older. Toni Kroos, Modric.
Well, they've signed Rudiger, haven't they? And there's been reports in the Spanish media this weekend that Mbappe has been dining in Madrid this week with a couple of his pals. Certainly will be an awful lot tighter if you compare the records between Barcelona and Real Madrid since Xavi took over. There's little between the two clubs. Xavi will be hoping for a clean bill of health next season to make life difficult for the new champions of Spain. The referee gives Getafe the advantage. This is Mayoral.
Busquets, I think it was with the challenge.
Most likely suspect.
Yeah, and he's got a yellow card.
Oh,
yeah, he goes right down the Achilles, doesn't he? Lenya. He knew he'd committed a fairly poor challenge. Deserved his yellow card for that.
Little handshake for the one-time teammates. Not that Alenya was alongside Busquets too often. Just played a couple of games in La Liga for his boyhood club.
Certainly done okay today, Alenya. Thought he was their best player in the first half in terms of getting on the ball, trying to make things happen. Very energetic. Didn't see too much of Maksimovic in there. Game is drifting here. Not too many chances in this second half. That's why we're going to see this man here, Ansu Fati.
Well, he is an entertainer. He's an immense talent. Can he come on and liven things up? Getting close to that hour mark when coaches do like to make a change. Long leg to Ricky Puig. This is Balde. Isaac has equalised for Villarreal against Real Sociedad. Sorry, no, Isaac has equalised for Real Sociedad against Villarreal.
Clearly a foul from Mayoral. Thought he had a chance of winning the ball back against Balde as he was going back towards his own goal. Still would like to see Aubameyang try and run in behind. He's making it far too easy for that. What is a back three against him at times.
You can see when they defend, can't you? It's a line of 5 for Getafe that has served them well. 3 clean sheets in their last 4 matches.
I think the players on the ball, when they do get time, it's up to them just to stick balls in behind. Just not moving Getafe around at the moment.
Well, the supporters have paid good money to come out to be entertained today. They'd like to see goals from both teams. It's been a little bit safety first, but away goes Unal. A little step on the afterburners there from Mingueza.
Well, I don't think Unal is particularly quick. Mingueza had to come across, but once again it was Longley that was caught out. Should never really be beaten by that one ball over the top. Mingueza.
He's a kilometre per hour quicker.
Yeah. Looked a lot quicker than that, didn't he, over that 10-15 yards.
We're approaching the hour mark as we await the first goal at the Coliseum. Alfonso Pérez. Barcelona have been excellent away from home. They've won the last 6 matches on their travels. They're dominating this with 70% of the possession. no standout chance in this game. There's Genet. Good communication, told him to leave it. Damian Suarez. This is Mayoral. Young striker on loan from Real Madrid. That's a good ball back to Mayoral. Started this. Continues to plug away, but Mingueza again. Be argued his best 60 minutes in a Barcelona shirt, Mingueza.
It was well played to start with by Mayoral. Ball played forward from Suarez. This is the next bit of action. Suarez doing what he's done quite often, getting too tight to Memphis Depay. They've had a little bit of a fight throughout the afternoon. Certainly no foul. Now knew he was going to be beaten for a little bit of pace here. Mingueza nearly put his arm across and touched the ball. Aubameyang, the player to come off.
Reputations mean nothing. Aubameyang may have scored 11 goals in his 15 starts, but not a sighting today.
And his movement wasn't good enough. I said that in the last game. Saw a lot of him at Arsenal where on his day his movement was excellent, he was enthusiastic. On a bad day he's a bit too static, and that's the case with him today, playing in that centre forward role.
Rayo Vallecano have equalised against Mallorca. Cease has made it 1-1 at the hour mark. That's good news for Getafe. Balde to Depay. Barcelona, remember, are fine as long as Atletico Madrid don't win today. 5 points between the two teams. These are the sides that are below Getafe in the standings the way things are at the moment. They're level with Elche on 39 points. If they get the single point today, Elche are their last day opponents. Barcelona's last game is at home against Villarreal. Ansu Fati came and scored with virtually his first touch of the ball against Real Betis on his last away day. Oliveira gives it away to Alves. Corner Barca.
Well, slightly better. Ansu Fati got on the ball, eventually played it out wide, and a good long one to it was between Dani Alves and Busquets.
Longley battling for space in the centre, gets his head on the ball, just cushions it. Good header away by Cuenca. And this man, sorry, has been very well protected by his defence.
Well, they are going to make a substitution here.
It's Gonzalo Villar, who's a defensive midfield player who is preparing to enter the action. If Getafe can get a goal, their troubles would seem so far away. Foul on Puig. It's been a stop-start second half.
Yeah, Alenya was disappointed he gave the ball away when he could have played it into a very good area, and then decided to try and win it back and gave Gavi a big nudge. A couple of substitutions down below us.
There's going to be a double change. The other player is another Barcelona old boy, Sandro Ramirez, striker. Had a spell at Everton now, very short spell at Everton in the English Premier League.
Everton, a big club in the Premier League who could be going down this season.
I got a valuable point today with 10 men, didn't they? Getafe. Busquets. Now Dani Alves. Gavi showing. Oh, Everton lost against Brentford. See what happens when you concentrate your mind on this. Memphis Depay has taken a heavy blow. It's taken him a while to win over Gavi, but started 4 games in a row. Time for the double change for Getafe. Sandro Ramirez will come on. Carlos Alenya vacates his position. He brought out Mayoral, given a standing ovation by the home supporters. So the final quarter of the game, can Sandro come on and score for the first time in 12 matches? There we go. Used to be a teammate of Xavi Hernandez. The old boys reunion.
There's Alenya, as you mentioned, coming off. Villar, the player, coming on.
We've taken off an attack-minded player and brought on maybe just a little bit of ballast in Gonzalo Villar.
Oh, straight swap. Sandro's going to play out on this right-hand side, exactly where Mayoral was playing.
Nice show of emotion, that wasn't it, from Xavi? You rarely see that. But Sandro was a key man, was in the Barcelona team about 9 years ago. He used to come on and score some vital goals as a substitute, and then went down to Malaga and made quite a name for himself. And Everton invested quite a lot of money in him, but never got any return for the investment. And Gene lets the ball go. Zaria can't get there. Barcelona have a corner.
Oh, that's not good play from Sandro. He had the ball almost near the halfway line and tried to play it firmly back to Gene. Giving away a corner here.
Taken short. This is Depay. Oh. Barcelona maybe need to be reminded that Atletico Madrid are leading against Sevilla. Atletico will go to 70 points. If Barcelona lose, it can go down to the final weekend of the season.
Problems here for Memphis Depay. He's indicated he wants to come off. There we go. Just did something to his knee there.
And Gaither slips. Well, he's living a charmed life, comes away with a ball. Alves. Now Longley. Memphis Depay may be thinking ahead to the internationals for his Netherlands side, which are coming up once the domestic season is finished. Don't want to be carrying an injury or making things worse, but he does add to a very long list of players that Xavi is currently without.
Ansu Fati has just made a couple of really good runs to try and break that offside line, and the player on the ball just ignored it. That's been Barcelona's problem. Too many square passes, keeping the ball just for the sake of keeping the ball. Now they've got to get it wide and get crosses into the box, because the player coming on is Luke de Jong here for Memphis Depay.
Well, a player who's won over the Barcelona supporters. They weren't keen when he arrived on loan from Sevilla. but he's wading with 7 goals this season, and he's turned into a bit of a cult hero. Well, they knocked the ball out of play, which will allow Barca to make the change. Memphis Depay has run his race today, and it will be a slight change of approach from Barcelona. That was where the damage that had already been done to Depay. He'd been hobbling for a couple of minutes before. That wasn't necessarily the challenge from Elena, and he's moving uncomfortably, and wisely plays no further part.
Yeah, let's hope he's okay.
Fati to Busquets. Alves, Mingueza. Balde.
See, that's where Balde, I think, has got to be a bit more adventurous. He had the ball in space, he could have gone forward with it, could have passed it forward and stops it and then goes back into midfield.
Balde is one of the players who has been fast-tracked. Before this season, he played only 16 games in Division 2B.
Doesn't look overly happy, does he, Memphis Depay? And there's Balde's first thought, is to go back and across.
And Gaither shakes off Unal. Busquets has a look around, just checking on the welfare of the Getafe striker, who's down on his knees. He's held back up by Mingueza. Part exhaustion, I think. Temperatures are beginning to swelter in the Mediterranean. Longley. Balde. Oof, bumped off the ball by Genet. The referee offers Barcelona in a very tempting position.
Well, there he was more positive. I'm not sure he'd have got the ball. He was running up a cul-de-sac, but at least he had a bit of adventure, trying to change the pace of the game. Knocked it one side of Genet, and you can see Genet's arm comes out. It's quite rightly a foul. Gets away from Sandro, knocks it one side, and Genet just leaves his arm there. Has a little look at the referee.
All around the country, there are 18 minutes remaining. Athletic beating Osasuna, Atletico leading against Sevilla, Celta leading against Elche, Cadiz Real Madrid is 1-1, Levante 1, Alaves 1, Mallorca giving themselves a bit of a lifeline, drawing against Rayo Vallecano. Pérez closing the gap, leading Granada, and 1-1 between Villarreal and Real Sociedad. The only game without a goal, it's Torres, and it is blocked by Unal. Torres hangs it back in the air. Alves with a cross, looking for the height they have now in Luc de Jong. This is Fati. Gavi. Balde. Busquets.
I have to say it's been a very good defensive performance by Getafe. They've hardly given Barcelona any sight of goal. They've been well organised, they've been compact, they've taken up good positions when the ball has come into the box. Their recovery runs have been good. It's been very difficult for Barcelona to break them down.
Real Sociedad have taken the lead with El Madrigal against Villarreal. Zubimendi with the second goal. Balde. Gavi. Easy defending from Damian Suarez. That's a good point you make about the defence, Stuart. down in, well, just on the edge of the relegation zone, but they actually have the 7th best defence in La Liga. They've conceded only 38 goals this season. May not feel it at home, but the temperatures are sweltering inside the stadium, and so with 15 minutes to go, the referee has been told that around the country there will be a cooling break. Get those fluids on board, and a few more ideas as well from Xavi Hernandez. I get the impression he's not the kind of coach that settles for a draw.
No, that's why I've been disappointed with Barcelona. I thought he would demand more urgency about their play, switch the play quicker, get more balls into the box, try and stretch Getafe. Even if you don't get on the end of balls, if you keep playing balls over the top, it might just force Getafe to go deeper with their back line and be more spaces in between the defensive lines. But they've not really moved Getafe about, Barcelona.
Getafe 14 minutes away from salvation. It has been a great escape for them this year. They've done it by frustrating the opposition. On average, they've had only 42% possession of the football in La Liga. First thing he did when he came in was concentrate on defence. Meanwhile, Alaves look as though they're doomed. They're now 2-1 down in Levante. Roger has scored the second goal for Levante, who'll be moving off the bottom of the table if it stays like that. They may be going down, but they're taking Alaves with them. Damian Suarez. Sandro bumps into Longley.
He just had a glimpse of Adama Traoré having a little sprint down the touchline. One of the players that was having a little run.
Well, he's been seen only a couple of times in the last half a dozen matches, Adama Traoré. And Xavi was diplomatic yesterday when asked about maybe signing him on a permanent deal. He said he's been selected on form, and he's not been starting. He's been behind Ferran Torres, Dembele, Depay in the team selection. Ansu Fati coming back as well, so it appears that Traoré will be heading back to his parent club, Wolverhampton Wanderers of the English Premier League next season, unless somebody comes in and triggers the €30 million buyout to take him away from the Midlands of England.
Yeah, I think it was fairly easy to predict that he wasn't going to quite cut the mustard with Xavi. Had a couple of good games, came on as a sub on a couple of occasions, then got left out the team. It's way down the pecking order when it comes to wide players. Did get in the Spanish team for a while. Saw him have a magnificent game against Ukraine a couple of years ago.
It's a moment that Ferran Torres will have enjoyed as he nutmegged Oliveira. Sanchez Flores is preparing to make a double change, but only when the time is right. Maybe not when Barcelona have the advantage here. Athletic Bilbao have increased their lead against Osasuna. Villalibre has scored with 11 minutes remaining at the new San Mamés.
Yeah, Florentino Luis, one of the players coming on, the number 5. Oscar Rodriguez, the other.
Well, if you're a professional footballer, you'd want to pit your wits against Football Club Barcelona, wouldn't you? Oscar Rodriguez is a talented young midfield player on loan from Sevilla, and Florentino Luis on loan from Monaco. So potentially for the two players, their final game in front of the Getafe supporters. Anderson has covered a lot of ground, had his moments, but hasn't added to the 15 goals that he's scored so far this season.
Good season for him, though. When you are in a struggling side who play with a back five, it's always going to be difficult for your main centre forward to score goals, but he's done well. Maximovic, the other player coming off.
Into the final 10 minutes we venture in the penultimate weekend of the La Liga season.
What it does mean is that Sandro's going to play at centre forward here rather than on the right hand side, and it's the sub Oscar Rodriguez who's come to the right hand side.
Well, Sandro is another player who's on loan. He's here from Recreativo until the end of the season. Oh, lovely take from Ansu Fati, draws down on goal, takes on all comers, but they get too many in the way, and then Balde flies one in. Need a little bit more conviction from the teenager.
Good take from Ansu Fati, but could he have taken it? Good switch of play to start with. There's the first touch. Could he have gone down the side and hit it with his left foot? By coming back inside, it allows Suarez to get back at him. Yeah, brilliant touch from Ansu Fati. But by going back inside, you can see Suarez has now got back and he makes the interception.
11 shots. No real major goal-scoring moment in this game. Can Quique Sanchez Flores lift his players over the line? Safety is in sight. No doubt that Barcelona have outpassed Getafe this afternoon.
But without causing them any problems whatsoever. I'm trying to think of any half chances. That take from Ansu Fati might have caused one or two problems if it had gone down the left-hand side, but really we haven't seen Barcelona create too many opportunities so far.
Well, Getafe's capital cones, Rayo Vallecano, are doing their bit for them by holding Mallorca 1-1 in that game. Mallorca won't be able to catch Getafe unless they beat Rayo Vallecano. A point is enough for Getafe. A point is all Barcelona required to claim second place with a game to go. Florentino Luis. It's been a measured, disciplined performance from Getafe. Things got a little risky for them when they lost against Real Madrid and Villarreal in April. But if they manage to avoid defeat today, it'll be 5 games at the end of the season without losing. In comparison to last year when they had a bad end to the season. They lost 3 of the final 5 games, but finished in 15th place. It's unlikely they're going to improve upon that this season.
Yeah, that poor run at the end of the season continued, didn't it, into the start of the season. All those losses on the trot, nobody gave them a chance of staying up.
Lost 9 of the opening 13 matches between August and December. And then Quique Sanchez Flores started tightening up the bolts, papering over the cracks, pointing them back in the right direction. You can feel the supporters. Allez, allez, allez. Not quite mass celebrations yet. But they're on hold. Here's Sandro. Oscar Rodriguez.
Probably the most controlled play of the ball we've seen from Getafe.
They're doing their best impression of Barcelona here in playing little triangles. Balde. Genet. No lays from the home supporters. Oh, as if it's a bullfight. Is there somebody out there that's willing to break the deadlock, or are they two teams content to see out the final 5 minutes of this game? Take the single point they both need.
Just looks as though some of these Barcelona players are ready for the end of the season here. There's been no inspiration whatsoever. Oh, yellow card for a bit of time wasted. Oliveira, I think, is the player.
Is that a refusal to get the ball?
Is that a good game with the left wing back?
I see what he did. Brought the ball onto the field when he knew that his goalkeeper had it. The referee felt that was unsporting behaviour, but he'll take it if it wastes a few valuable seconds. Atletico Madrid, Sevilla is now 1-1 with 5 minutes remaining. And Nesri equalising for Sevilla. That's going to take them on to 67 points. Atletico on 68. Barcelona are going to be safe to take the second spot in La Liga. They won't be able to be caught by Atletico on the final weekend of the season. This is how the table looks with 3 minutes remaining on the penultimate Sunday. Down at the very bottom, there's still going to be a scramble between Mallorca and Cadiz. And Granada in the equation again. Remember, in Spain, if you're level on points, it's the head-to-heads between the teams in question. Getafe is the cry from the home supporters. The Blue Commandos, as they're known. Luke de Jong to Gavi. Ricky Puig to Dani Alves. Barcelona completely dominating. 73% of the possession. Ferran Torres.
I have to say, that's all they've dominated, possession. They haven't dominated the game in terms of chances, the way they wanted the game to be played. Of the two sides, Getafe will certainly be the happier.
They've played close to their maximum as well, haven't they?
They've defended well. That was their game plan. Yes, they would like to have caused Barcelona one or two problems from set plays and maybe on the counter-attack, which they haven't done. But defensively, they've been well organised, they've been compact, and they've done the job perfectly for 88.5 minutes so far. You have to say it's been a great success for Quique Sanchez Flores. From when he took over, where they were, where they are now. Almost a minor miracle.
Real Pérez have scored a second against Granada. Granada going to remain on 37 points. Wanmi has scored again for Pérez. What a fantastic season he's had. Best of his career at the Andalusian club.
You wouldn't say he's an out-and-out centre forward, would you? Plays off that left-hand side, makes lots of good runs. You're absolutely right. Excellent season, Wanmi.
Celebration to warming up at the Coliseum. Alfonso Pérez. They named it after the best football ever to come from this district of Madrid. Back in the 90s, not realising that they would go on quite an adventure in the next decade. They made it to the UEFA quarter-finals. They got to the Copa del Rey final as well back in 07 and 08. And the accomplishment this season is to stay amongst the Spanish elite. Going to be 4 minutes added. Barcelona, if they get an opportunity, are going to introduce yet another player to La Liga action. Mikel Marmol, young central defender. His nerves are going to be jangling down below. 19 years of age, centre half. Will be the 38th player utilised by Barcelona this season in La Liga. This may be a forgettable game in many ways, but not for this man. Mikel Marmol gets his big chance. Takes the place of Bolde, who's returned to the side today and has done a tidy job in place of Jordi Alba. And it's another one of the teenagers from La Masia, the club's academy, who will get 3 minutes or so to say that he is a La Liga player for Barcelona Football Club. Is a locally born boy as well, comes from Terrassa, on the edge of Barcelona. Any previous game with the first team was in the Maradona tribute match.
Yeah, it's a straight swap. He's going to play at left back. Not sure how many touches he's going to get of the ball. I think both sides just happy to see this one out now.
Both sides will have a free ride on the final weekend of the season. Getafe when they head to Elche, and it's effectively an exhibition game for Barcelona against Villarreal on the finale. All of the tension is going to be down at the bottom of the table. Mallorca have improved their opportunities. They have beating Rayo Vallecano 2-1, 92nd minute. Mallorca will move on to 36 points. Cadiz are still drawing against Real Madrid. And so Cadiz dip into the bottom three, level with Mallorca. Granada just a point above them. That's where the focus is going to be on the final weekend of the season. Getafe are almost there. By the way, Andrei Lunin, not only did Ukraine win the Eurovision Song Contest last night, Andrei Lunin made a penalty save in that game between Real Madrid and Cadiz. Mass whistles from the home supporters. They've got another minute to endure.
They're just not being tested, are they? Barcelona's quite happy to keep the ball in front of them. That back five won't have an easier game than this.
Well, if Barcelona do score in the next 45 seconds, it will go down to the final day of the season. Barcelona put the ball out of play. They can almost breathe easily here, Getafe.
Well, they're waiting to celebrate, aren't they? Those players, these fans. Yes, it's only a 0-0 draw, but it's the 0-0 draw they need. They're going to be safe. What an achievement by the club after that poor start. What an achievement by the coach, Quique Sanchez Flores. He's restored his reputation. As you mentioned, had a little time out the game. But he's been magnificent for this football club.
The referee adding to the suspense. It's confirmed. Getafe have exercised the ghost of relegation with a game to go. Now they can celebrate. A club that looked doomed in December. No win in the opening 11 games of the season. It's been a fantastic turnaround, and they've got the vital point they needed against Barcelona. And for Xavi Hernandez as well, it is the point they require to ensure that they finish second in La Liga, just behind their great rivals Real Madrid, but above the rest. Almost a gentleman's agreement between the two teams. Adam Barry was the man of the match. I may give that to Stuart Robson for getting us through 94 minutes of it this afternoon. Final score, 0-0.